Welcome, everyone, back to another edition of Card Authority, episode
44, I think we are up to.
What was it? 4,044.
It feels like it could have been 4,044.
And the sound still plays.
I'm going to go with 44.
Welcome, everybody. Thank you once again, Jenks, always joining me. How are you traveling, Adam?
I'm good. It's been a very big week, big couple of weeks, but a big 7 days, 5 days.
Yep.
Amongst all the card releases and everything. I took a few hours off to hug the bowl, as they say. And
you were a bit unwell at one point.
Yeah, but it's been an amazing week of Footy Stars new release, which I'm sure we're about to get right into.
So for anyone that's been living under a rock, obviously the first major release of the year came out last Thursday, Select Footy Stars 2023, which had a retail product and a hobby product that was available across all the hobby stores, Select Australia, Kmart, Coles, Woolworths, newsagents. You can pretty much buy it anywhere.
Yep.
G'day, Jack. How you going? And it's the first look at the new cards for the 2023 season. Obviously, we were incredibly busy here across all our ventures at RGV, but I imagine all the shops and all the breakers, the groups, the communities, they were all flat out. Obviously, we're going to deep dive into a lot of the starts. Early start, Wade. I mean, who doesn't jump the gun in their 40s? But, it is what it is.
Hello, Wade.
But look, it's been really exciting and, we're going to touch on it very soon. But really, the overall dot point from it all is it's been super positive, Jenks.
Super positive.
Which has been great.
So we were just discussing before the show or a little bit earlier that we haven't seen the new release negativity that normally pops up all over Facebook around the start of a new release, and whether it's to do with cards or not getting access or missing out or people not happy with price points or whatever it may be. That's something that we certainly haven't seen this time. So we may well have turned a corner in terms of maturity.
Maybe.
Or it might be a little bit of maybe affirmation there that selectors got it right for the most part with this release, and the market condition for a release like this is sort of perfectly aligned to it. Taking away the sentiment and that side of things from a data standpoint and a collectible standpoint, this release is flying.
Yeah, absolutely.
An enormous amount of sales that have taken place both on eBay and visibly on eBay, but also on Facebook. I feel like there has been a lot getting snapped up early, bit of disparity in pricing and whatnot, but been a big first week, like massive.
Yeah, absolutely.
Massive. From a collector standpoint, I've missed a lot of cards. Like
your camera is freezing a little bit, Jenks, which, obviously the fans are screaming out for. Do you want to just maybe reset that camera there because you've got access to it? But absolutely, it has been incredibly positive trades, sales, all those sorts of things. Still no camera left for you, Jenks, which, hello, Justin. Let me say hello to a few people while you maybe pull the power out of that, Jenks, and there we go. Oh, it's coming back to life now. There we go. It doesn't really like you tonight, Jenks, which is a surprise because you are obviously incredibly well loved in the community.
We'll give it a couple of seconds and see what happens there.
It's still pretty frozen by the looks of it.
That's right. Let's keep moving.
Yep. But big thank you to everyone. David, Harps, Wade, Justin, Aiden seemed to speak up a little bit. Yep. Dorian's just resetting his camera, so hopefully that will fix in a second. Oh, there's a little bit of side angle canning. I see a little bit of Thomas Butters there as well. So look, it's been certainly very positive. And what we really like is the community engagement we're seeing across multiple different aspects and channels, which is positive, which is all we can hope for, James.
Yeah. So obviously we get a good look at things from a multitude of different perspectives. One of those main ones being the fact that we have a significant size eBay channel with a lot of listings, and we open a lot of product obviously for our store, but then we're also seeing the sentiment measurement of what goes on through the community, like vibes as well.
Yep.
Overall, where are you seeing things in terms of price levels, where you thought they would be? What do you see as sort of overvalued, anything?
I definitely feel like things have sort of hit the prices that we expected. There's obviously going to be a few things that are positive and negative. Predictors have obviously come out pretty hot. And, there's always being a very high speculation card. Predictors an interesting one. The iconics, obviously, that we talked about pre-release were, look, definitely better in hand, but the prices are certainly not really booming as they were with, say, Virtuosos and other case hits that we see with previous Series 1 releases. Sorry, we're just working in the background here to try to activate another camera. Let me see if that one works for you, Janks.
And look, I'm in agreement with you. The iconic thing seems to be, for me, it's a bit of a miss in terms of it being the high-end case hit. Aesthetically, I just don't think it's there.
There we go, Janks. You're back. You are back.
Aesthetically, I just don't think it's quite there, and there'd be better. It doesn't stack up against the Showstopper and the Marquee and the Virtuoso of the past.
Yep.
And as a result of that, we're probably not seeing the price points at those same sort of levels as what they were commanding.
So something that has stacked up, and this is something that's come across our desk in the last couple of minutes, Janks. I'm not going to call it a world exclusive.
It's a universe exclusive.
Universe exclusive. We have just been given the details of the instant win cards and the prizes, which are going to be announced on the Select website very shortly. But look, we've only had a couple of minutes to digest this.
AJ doesn't seem excited. I'm excited though, guys. This is serious.
It's
Select has gone big here.
Yep.
And, we've talked about it the last few days. These cards are 1 in 3 case hits. They can't just be giving away a starter pack or something like that. There has to be significant value associated with what's going on.
Yep.
And I think they have over-delivered. So start reeling it out.
So first of all, there is an essential platinum foil green set. Okay. And these are numbered to 250. So it's the 90 cards that are in the essential set currently, numbered to 250.
In a green variation.
Correct. There's going to be 20 full sets of green essentials that you're going to get. You're going to win a set with the exact same serial number.
And
so
they're numbered. So the
between 1 and 20.
Yeah. So the 001 to 020 will be complete sets of that number. So if you're lucky enough to get the 01, you get the full set of 90 cards as the 001 of 250. And that goes all the way through to
correct
020.
There's also going to be 80 full sets of random numbers, I guess we would say, between 21 and 250.
Yeah.
And then there's also going to be additional team sets where you're going to get the full, I think it's 30 cards across 6 teams.
Yeah.
Random numbers as well.
Yeah. So for example, set A might be Brisbane, Adelaide, Carlton, Collingwood, Essendon, and Fremantle.
Correct.
And you will get the sets of those 30 cards that come from those teams still out of the 250 in total.
Correct.
All right.
So that's a belter.
Okay, look, so for collectors, this is a really interesting one. Obviously, me being a Team Master Set collector and many others out there, including lots on our stream.
Yep.
This is really interesting because you need those cards as part of your team set.
Absolutely.
Not dissimilar to the Kmart, which we'll talk about afterwards, or the Auskick cards, or event sets, or sample sets, whatever it may be. This is in the same vein. So there's actually serious value associated with a lot of these cards.
Huge value.
Not just the 1 to 20 set. Like
just the full set, though.
Yeah, you've got to think. Let's, in monetary terms, I suppose, worst case scenario, a numbered set to 250 of essentials. Let's say worst case on average $10 per card.
Yep.
90 in the set.
Yep.
So you're talking about a $900 set without having any sort of significant numbers associated with it.
And what I like this is too is for people that are, say, team set collectors or recreational collectors, they're going to then take those cards out that they want for their own set.
Yeah.
And then they're going to get distributed back to the market. And ironically, Wade's just put up a post, hurts low number player PC collectors. Well, not necessarily, Wade, because I think someone that might get the 02 set may not want the GWS cards, or may not want the Sydney cards, or may not want the West Coast ones.
Yeah.
So they're going to go and sell them.
Yeah, that's right. They'll get broken up into the market.
So they're actually going to go out, unless one of those sets lands into someone who's a full master set collector
that's right.
and holds it. They're actually going to get dispersed in all different ways that are going to allow people not only to fill sets, make some money if they choose,
yeah,
but it's actually a really interesting way to distribute cards.
Absolutely.
So the next prizes, the Virtuosos are back. There's 18 players, numbered to 60, and they're doing it in pairs so that you actually get 2 Virtuoso cards from 2 different teams as one prize.
Yeah.
So should I just read them out?
Yeah.
Yep. So first pack is Isaac Rankine and in his Adelaide jumper. Oh, I've just realized this. So players that have switched clubs are now actually going to be in their new colours.
Yeah.
That's great. So Isaac Rankine, Adelaide, Aaron Norton for the Dogs.
So anywhere where there was a double up, like Luke Jackson, that's now in Fremantle colours.
I haven't got to Luke Jackson yet, so settle down.
Yes.
Josh Dunkley, Brisbane, and James Sicily, Hawthorn. Charlie Curnow, Tom Papley. Nick Dacos is going to have a Virtuoso with Josh Kelly in the Giants. Archie Perkins, Essendon, Lukosius, Gold Coast. Luke Jackson in Fremantle colours, and Tim Taranto in the mighty Tigers. Patrick Dangerfield, Geelong. Horn Francis in Port Adelaide. There we go. Awesome. And Brody Grundy, Melbourne. Rowan Marshall, St Kilda. Jai Simpkin, North Melbourne. And Jack Darling, West Coast. That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool. Hopefully it's the black versions because the black ones looked amazing. Virtuoso Signature Series are back. So these are the last 6 teams that didn't have a Virtuoso signature
So obviously
last year.
A lot of conjecture about a lot of people wondering what was going on with
when they were going to come. Yep.
Here is the answer to that.
So Jordan Dawson, Adelaide. Toby Green for the Giants. Oh, you're screwed now. Hugh McCluggage, Brisbane. Jeremy McGovern, West Coast. Took Miller, the Suns. Jai Simpkin, North Melbourne. They're also going to put in 10 2023 AFL Premiership Platinum sets. So 10 out of the only limited 100 are going to be part of the prizes as well.
Very cool.
There's going to be, this is cool, full sets of highlights and rising star cards for the 2023 season. So that will actually be shipped on the completion of the 23 footy season. 12 boxes of Optimum 2022.
Okay, so they're whipping out actual boxes here, and prizes are premium boxes. So, as AJ said, 12 boxes of Optimum 22. That'll be an instant prize that you'll receive immediately.
25 boxes of Supremacy Rookie from 2023. Okay, so it's advanced 2023 rookie boxes.
Interesting. Okay, which will get released later in the year, and you'll receive those on release.
8 boxes of Supremacy 2021.
Which is huge.
And also 10 sets of the 2023 draft pick cards. Nice, which will be shipped to December 23.
So I think overall they're looking at a valuation somewhere around the $70,000 mark for the prize pool.
I have to double check that, but just scanning over
it's significant.
The cheapest prize I can really see, or the cheapest or the lowest value, is probably maybe the draft pick set, which is going to be like 200. No, the highlights is with the Rising Star. So there's 22 rounds of that.
Yeah, it's a lot of cards as well.
So it looks like minimum a couple of $100.
Yeah, so it feels like your instant win prize card is essentially at a minimum worth about $200 in prize value.
Yep.
Up into some serious money. Yes, Supremacy, the RRP may have been $700, or was it $7.99 or $6.99?
$700, I think.
Yeah, $700. But we can all go have a look on eBay and see what the resale value actually is. So this is a serious prize pool. I'm really happy that Select has done the right thing here and actually put a prize pool.
Oh, and as Harps just said, man, this is actually incredible.
Case set. These are huge hits and sort of a bit of a game changer for the product, to be honest.
Absolutely, and it makes it like, as you said, it's a true case hit or a true 1 in 3 case hit. There's no prize here, and every card wins.
Yeah, every card wins. Every card gets one of these prizes.
There's 1,525 prizes, I believe. I wrote that down somewhere. 1,520 maybe. 1,500 prizes, a bit over 1,500. Every single one of those cards is going to get one of those prizes.
Yeah.
That's well done.
I feel like that 01, I think someone said in the comments, the 01 set of essentials, that is a serious set there.
I actually think
because the players represented as well.
Yeah.
Like you've got to look at the variety of different collectors. Yeah. These are some pretty well thought out things. And then the box inclusion of high end releases is a really big winner.
Absolutely.
A really, really big winner.
And people are saying in the comments here, all the eBay listings instantly gone. Will this makes next year's Footy Stars instant wins go for crazy prices? Maybe. Well, we certainly had a quick look a couple of days ago for instant wins, and I think they were all sitting around $150 to $200.
Yeah.
So the fact that minimum you're going to get something like that, those value of those cards is just moving upwards.
Absolutely. Let's talk a little bit about the set. You know where the value's been really crazy as well recently? Where something we haven't really seen before?
Sure.
With this pink variation of card.
So for people that don't know, and again, stuck under a rock, Kmart had an exclusive starter pack set distributed across all the stores and online. So it was like a normal starter pack, but it had an exclusive pink insert that was there.
Yeah.
And they were limited to 130 as per what Lynn said on the stream.
Yeah.
They have been incredibly, I want to say hot, but FOMO has kicked in onto an absolute next level.
Yeah.
Like we've got people coming to the store talking about it. We've got people messaging us asking if we have them.
Big flurry online, obviously. It's really interesting and a lot of debate, a lot of conversation about it. You know, yes, they're going to be hard to get. Yes, they're short print.
Yep.
130, not super short print, but still short print in the context of Series 1. That's a maximum of 130 all types of sets that can ever be completed. Yep. Wide distribution of Kmart's all over the place. Some people don't know what it is that they're pulling out of the packets. With that being said, they have been snapped up by collectors, clearly. Everyone's gone and raided all the Kmart stores. I mean, we're involved in that too.
We headed down to Southland and
they rejected us.
They rejected us.
But they clearly said that.
Yeah, what was the feedback?
The feedback from the lady at Kmart is, this is so weird. All these grown men keep coming in here asking for these things. This is the third time today already. And that was a few days ago. So people caught onto it, obviously. You know, it's funny, even before I managed to pull any out of some packets that we did get, I bought some of these things.
Yeah, me too.
And I expected to pay an inflated price. I paid the inflated price. It is what it is. It's peace of mind to get it out of the way.
Yep.
A bunch of them way overpriced, sure.
Yep.
They certainly are. Will some of them come down to really low price points? They will at some point, but I think there might be an expectation that some of them will come down to $3 or $4. That won't actually happen with a lot of them.
Look, I think when we initially looked at it, they were going to be, we thought they were going to be anywhere sort of $5 to $20.
Yeah.
Somewhere in that range.
Yeah.
And obviously the bigger players have been going at some monstrous prices. Like I think a Nick Dacos and a Dusty went, north of $100.
Yeah.
But a lot of, good teams, Victorian clubs, known players have been selling for $50, $60.
Yeah.
But again, look, it's like any new release. People want to buy things quickly and consume.
Yeah.
The price will probably drop off on a little bit of it. But what I think is interesting is there hasn't really been this kind of tangible demand for a non-numbered card for the last few years, for a long time, for as long as I've sort of been around in this news cycle.
Yeah. Look, starter pack burst in the previous incarnation, and even now the starter pack acetates that are in these ones are still short print. And there's ways to figure out how many of them there actually are. However, I just think the distribution method here being a full-on exclusive does make it a little bit different as well. Do I think some of these cards are worth $100, $150? Absolutely not.
Yep.
I don't think that's the case.
But as you always say, the market's talking.
That's right. The market sort of dictates. Have we sold a bunch of these things for extraordinary amounts of money on eBay? Yes, we have.
Yep.
We've joined the chorus of people who have collected big prices on them.
Yep.
But as always, it takes two to tango. There's got to be buyers to go with the products that are listed. And that's what it is. Again, I overpaid for a couple already as well. What I consider to be overpaying for them.
Yep.
However, the demand seems so significant for those cards. In fairness, they actually look awesome. They're probably the best looking card in the set, to be honest.
They're a great looking card.
They're arguably the best looking card in the set. They certainly look better than the other ones, and I think they look the best in the set.
We don't know what the green ones are going to look like yet.
But I imagine they're going to be pretty cool as well with that metallic.
Yep.
It's going to be cool.
Well, while we're talking about essentials, something that I've seen on a few threads and a few sales posts recently, there seems to be a handful of normal essentials from the normal release, the retail and the hobby.
Misprints.
Yeah. That are true error cards where the gold foiling hasn't put their name down the bottom, and even some without the essential logo.
Yeah.
It's for people that are newer into the market. Yes, they look different and it looks like it's a mistake, but you've actually got quite a valuable commodity there because it is an error.
Yeah.
It's not like one of the AFLW comments where it says that she's 2 years old because of the date of birth. If every card is the same, that's what the card is.
Absolutely.
But to have cards that haven't had the gold foiling, it's the Max King Influential all over again.
Yeah.
Team set collectors and master set collectors are going to need both of these cards.
Absolutely.
So if you have come across any of those, go and have a look at the ones you pulled out of your box. They're actually going to have some value to them later on.
I don't know if there's any secured ones like that. I haven't seen any yet.
I've seen Patrick Cripps.
Okay.
There's been a few Cripps around.
Exactly as you said. Like if I was, if those St Kilda ones exist, I need both of them. And I feel like a lot of collectors have the same sort of mindset as well.
Absolutely.
You need both in your set.
So obviously we talk a lot about how product is consumed. And ever since the introduction of obviously SEC, that certainly helped with the percentage of product that is consumed quickly.
Yeah.
Where do you think the consumption level is at the moment?
It's hard to judge because it's a mass market product.
Yep.
And it goes far and wide, especially the retail boxes. Of the hobby, I think the hobbies, it's been ferocious. It's just been ripped so hard and fast. It's unbelievable. I would say that if 100% of the hobby was distributed, which I believe was the case,
I would say it's sold out. Yeah.
It's got to be up already somewhere like 80% ripped because it's not the type of product that people sit on. Because what's the point? It's a $140 box, which ultimately shouldn't have a significant resale over that value, especially now with the predictor situation, which we'll talk about.
Yep.
So it's just such an easy rip. It's a fun rip and it's a cost-effective rip to get a bunch of good cards and also, potential chasers for the predictors and whatnot as well, which is a really interesting situation with the flippers.
Yep.
When we're saying flippers here, we're not talking about flippers within trading cards. I'm talking more
external forces.
Yeah, the proper external guys who are connected to discords and things like that, where they're attacking all different types of products with a short-term, instant high yield. They're basically looking for. And we certainly tracked it early, as we have with a number of releases, that they were pushing towards their members going after this product, thinking that it would have a double resale value, especially on the hobby. So that you should buy a 140 box and get 250 to 300 for it.
Yep.
I think two things here. One, I think there's some probably false comps or some anomalies going on eBay for some that may have sold around that sort of price. I don't think that's real.
Yep.
Because it makes no sense when you've been able to buy it at $140 and it's so readily available. It's produced in a decent quantity.
Yep.
It makes no sense why at that exact point in time people would pay $100 over retail for it.
Well, we were still selling retail boxes of hobby 2 days ago on Saturday.
Yeah, for $140.
And I imagine Cherry or Sunshine or any of the other big retailers that had stock would still be selling boxes at retail.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
So I feel like this is a release where those people are actually getting burned. And as much as there might be some false comps at that level, the hundreds or 100 or so boxes that I've seen connected to generic accounts that have sneakers, PlayStations, and hoodies and whatever on it, I think those people are getting burnt, especially when they can't afford or they're not used to having their money tied up for prolonged periods of time. They're used to an instant in and out and get rewarded for it. So, look, I think that some of those people probably got burnt here. Hopefully that's the case, and maybe it acts as a bit of a deterrence. From a consumer or collector standpoint, hobby standpoint, I feel like most people, whatever they've bought, they've ripped it at this stage or it's about to be ripped.
Do you think anyone's missed out on boxes?
It doesn't feel like it, no.
Like if you wanted boxes, you get them.
And that's what, as we opened the show with, I'm yet to hear someone have a whinge that they haven't been able to get what they wanted, basically, or what's maybe not what they wanted, but what's reasonable.
Yeah, well, they could get something.
Yeah, and they can essentially still get in most situations. So,
and Select General Sale was open for 20 minutes.
Yeah,
which for Footy Stars doesn't sound like a lot, but versus other releases, especially for the hobby market, 20 minutes to go and buy your box. Above and beyond SEC, above and beyond what's in stores and people doing pre-sales and things like that is a huge amount of time.
Yeah.
And certainly allows everyone a good opportunity to get it.
Absolutely. I think a lot of wins with this release, a lot of things that we should expect, once again reinforcing that this is a Series 1 release.
Sure.
Obviously, they've created the hobby product and now the whole run of Platinum stuff. Cards that we'd essentially usually see in a Series 1.5 like Prestige. They were very open, saying there is no Prestige again. They've merged it in. I really like it. Price point's good. Product is good. Participation rate is through the roof at the moment. Every year we see the likes of Footy Stars bringing new collectors in and new people into the hobby. We've seen that happen.
The amount of new names in not only our network of groups, but groups all across Facebook, Ozcard, all that kind of stuff. There are so many people with names. A couple of years ago, we used to know pretty much anyone. Any new name, there'd be some sort of degree of separation. Now, the amount of names flooding in,
absolutely,
it's fantastic.
And just like, to remind everyone, all the watchers and listeners and everyone involved in the hobby, fellow collectors, we were all the new guy once upon a time. Absolutely. It's really important that the more experienced guys, and, I would even state the more experienced guys in this day and age, due to how fast everything's moving, there's people that have been in the hobby for 6 months now who are probably consider themselves to be veteran collectors at this point, from where they started, or where they started 12 months ago with Footy Stars to where they are now. So just keep in mind that, knowledge and experience takes time for the new people to absorb, and it's really important that they have others to learn off as well. So,
and we're certainly making, I know, an effort here at Card Authority, through our help with Butters here, of putting up resources to try to help navigate people through what we consider general practice, but might be shipping cards or doing trades,
how to buy and sell, how to avoid scanners, how to redeem cards, the different types of cards, all these different things. As you said, the resources are on the Card Authority website, and we continue to put them out on socials. But again, it's just really important that if you're dealing with someone you think is a new collector, it might be on one of the generic pages, just be mindful that they are new and they may need a bit of encouragement. Maybe explain to them a bit more about your expectation for your packaging, or how to value a card if the price doesn't seem right, or whatever.
And how to package a card and take good photos and things like that.
Well, ultimately, the good experiences that these people have lead to them then collecting Series 2. And then all of a sudden, they're more embedded in the hobby. They're collecting more. They're getting a better idea of how things work. They're refining their collecting. Again, I can't talk enough about it. We've all been in that position once before.
And do you think that's a credit for Select have seemed to have found it? Last year we knocked Footy Stars. There were some fundamental issues with it, which they seem to have listened, and
that's been cleaned up.
And I think what this product has done is it's given retail product to kids and mass market. It's given something for the hobby market to consume. And I think that's allowed everyone to reduce the angst and actually be able to enjoy ripping cards and ripping products.
Absolutely. Again, fundamentally, they made changes to the product, which were errors last year. As people pointed out, you pointed it out, they certainly acknowledged it. And I think they've just done a really outstanding job in the context of what we're looking at here. This is a mass market product designed to seed new people into the hobby and get it to, before, at the start of the season, get AFL and footy out to the masses in the form of cards. They've also then understood that the hobby market and collectors market has grown significantly and wants to be appeased, and we need something in this first part of the year.
We're all itching for it.
They've nailed that part of it. I think there's a lot of ticks and a lot of wins across the board. Again, if there was one thing that I think is not right, and it's really not the be-all and end-all, it's the case hit being what it is and a little bit underwhelming. But at the same time, all those now platinum predictors and stuff, and the rising
and the instant win,
the instant win is now a massive value add, and we're going to see the predictors really start to play out over the coming weeks.
Well, that's a good segue to the predictors that we want to talk about. And Steve, don't worry, we're going to be talking about Teamcoach shortly.
We are going to Teamcoach shortly, guys.
The predictors, as you mentioned and touched on before, there is no prestige this year, so they needed to get the platinum predictors out in people's hands, and they've chosen to execute that in the hobby product this release. Are we going to see unprecedented trading, volatility, speculation on predictors? Obviously, the market is hot at the moment for the Brisbane Rising Star. Ashcroft is a $2 unbackable favorite if you are into wagering. Say something happens to Ashcroft, like what happened to Matt Rowell a couple of years ago, who was red hot and then did his knee or shoulder or something after round 2. are we going to see a phenomenal amount?
A big dump off of the Brisbane Predictors.
Well, and also all these other teams suddenly go boom and spike.
And that's the nature of Predictors. And every year we see it happening. They open hot, then they level out before the first round of the season. Then 1 or 2 rounds in, we start to see a bit of performance.
Yep.
Usually Dusty has a good couple of rounds to begin with. His stocks explode all of a sudden. Everyone wants the Dusty Predictors.
Yep.
Then he gets, big hip and shoulder and he's gone. And
Shut up.
all these types of things happen. But yeah, the Predictors are going to be a really interesting one. I think there's more Predictors now. There's more categories of Predictors now in a single release at the exact same time. In the past, we've seen some of those platinums and whatnot come out later in the game, whereas now there's a lot more speculation because all Predictors are in market right before the start of the season.
Yep.
Can't wait to even see after round 1 what happens with price.
Oh, there's going to be some crazy
based
stuff
on performance.
Yep.
So very exciting stuff ahead. Good period ahead. What's up next for Select? Who knows? They said they're not doing a Prestige, so we all are going to wait with a bated breath. But again, Footy Stars should be taking a bit of time to complete sets.
You won't Select? Tell us.
I don't know about that, but I do know there's definitely another set that I'm getting excited about.
So obviously we would have all seen the announcements over the last couple of weeks of Teamcoach 2023 coming to market. Obviously Teamcoach is the other player or the other card in the industry that has been, I guess, generally targeted to kids, and it's a game card, and we've talked about all this stuff in the past, but there was something yesterday that it came up in their previews that absolutely blew my mind.
Yeah.
And obviously you were excited about it as well, Jakes.
Yeah. And I feel like it's been really interesting because Teamcoach has put out their previews right in the release week of Footy Stars as well.
Yep.
So probably as a result of that, a lot of the collector communities, hasn't seen as much as what we normally would.
Sure.
But as you said, that final preview of their release.
So what is it?
Came out.
Tell the people that haven't seen it.
This is a Scanlens 60-year anniversary collaboration tribute set that they've done that is now incorporated into Teamcoach 2023. And the previews look unreal. Conceptually, it's very, very smart. As soon as I said 1963, then a lot of people who are watching the show right now, they know exactly what that means. For those who aren't, for those who haven't been around and aren't aware, 1963, although it wasn't the first set, by no means the first set, footy cards date back very far before that. 1963 is regarded as arguably the most collectible and most important set of football cards in existence. It is the year of the very infamous Polly Farmer, amongst other cards. Yep. An amazingly rare set, very hard to find in good condition, but something that collectors new and old have talked about and will continue to talk about for many, many years to come. 2023 is obviously the 60-year anniversary of that.
Yep.
And Teamcoach have really paid homage here to what that set was all about, but not just in respect of design. It's not just about the image itself. It's how, from what's been described and the information we have, the path they've gone down to really create the experience of that being the Scanlens card.
Yep. So they've released 2 versions of the card. There is a common version, which is 1 in 7 packs.
Yep.
And then there is a retro version, which is slightly smaller, and it is 1 in
864.
So 1 in 2 cases.
Yeah, one in 2. Yeah, 1 in 2 cases, 1 in 864. So 1 in 24 boxes, roughly, for those who don't count in case form.
Yep.
What's really interesting, the key thing you said there was it's smaller. The retro one's smaller, and that's for a reason.
Yep.
And again, from the information we have and the previews that we've seen, this card is designed on the same sizing, the same font.
So do you think it's going to have the same feel?
Image style? Well, apparently it's supposed to. I would assume that that's the path they've gone down. They've also said there's a pressed holographic security logo. One of the exclusive bits of information that we can reveal to you right now here at Card Authority is that these cards, the retro variation, 1 player per team, so 18 cards, there is only 185.
Yep.
185 produced of each of these. This is a rare card this is a seriously rare card for a product like Teamcoach. We all know how wide the mass market distribution is. The reality of how many of these actually see the light of day popping up in the collectors community is really limited. So this is going to be a serious set for collectors.
So I popped out earlier today, and you don't even know about this, Jenks, but I went and caught up with the nice people at Teamcoach.
Don't do it.
Thank you very much for them to giving these to me. But these two are the first two Teamcoach samples in production. You can take that one out. So that is the common card, which is 1 in 7 packs. Took Miller. To me, I have a bit of a feel. That's why I sort of set you up to see what you think the feel might be.
All right.
Show it to everyone.
I can't see on the preview screen.
No, that's okay. You've got it there. There we go. It's focused. Beautiful. So that's a full-size card with rounded edges. And it's got a little quiz on the back.
Yeah, so it's like a quiz on the back.
So it falls into the gaming.
So round edges, and I'm going to go out on a limb and say that's the exact size of a regular Teamcoach card right there.
Yep. But, Jenks, this wouldn't be a fun reveal without me being able to have a little bit of fun. I'll keep it in its sleeve. But
you guys have been taking the piss all day out of me, haven't you? Wow,
one of the brand new retros, which I'm going to keep.
It over.
You don't need this one, do you?
Let's take it out.
Do you have this one yet? Well, the answer
is... It actually looks like a Scanlens card.
Nobody. This is the only one in existence that's not in packets currently. Yes, world exclusive, George.
Oh, my. Oh, wow.
So explain what you're feeling there.
So
just hold it up a little bit. That's it. Beautiful.
All right. So I can feel already. Everything about this screams 1963, not 2023. So I can feel, and look, I've dealt with a lot of cardboard over the years, uncoated stock, like a raw, rough stock as it would have been printed on. Looking at the back of it, I'm going to say if I match that up against a Scanlens card, we're going to be looking at it's not identical, a very similar font, and obviously the styling. So this one's obviously got a write up here rather than having the quiz.
It does.
Oh, this is awesome.
But have a look at the
how's
hologram.
The hologram?
Yeah.
All right. So this hologram,
which is going to try my camera because I obviously can see the preview screen.
So the hologram, which is exclusive. So the other one's just got like a foil print. The hologram, which is just on the retros here.
I don't know if I can.
It's not a sticker. It's actually embedded into the card. It's like pressed. It's like holographic foil that has been pressed into the card. There's no half-ass job here, I'll tell you that. This is a serious card.
So I had to keep this secret today because I knew you would get your grubby mitts all over it. And I've obviously wanted to be a Jack Steele collector for a while.
Do I get to keep that?
You can probably keep this one.
Wow.
You can probably keep this one. I don't want it. I only keep winners. There you go. You can have another look at it.
Unreal.
So obviously a really exciting, not only commemorative to what is a really important part of the history of AFL trading cards, but something unique that Teamcoach have now done to add into their sets. And look, over the coming weeks, we'll certainly, well, Butters, you don't know about this, but you're going to be writing some articles on the 63 and talk about, obviously, the journey of how important they are and some of the backstories. Like I saw someone asking about the Polypharma thing. We're going to talk about a few of those things, but a really exciting addition to Teamcoach. And look, we'll certainly run through. We've got some other exclusive news about all the breakdowns of the card rarity.
So
but
I'm just looking at that in front of me at the moment.
Yep. Make sure you put a top loader back on that card.
Yeah,
right?
I have. I'm just looking at the information at the moment, and I didn't realize the short print nature of some of these cards. Obviously, Teamcoach doesn't print the numbering on their cards.
Correct, because they're not numbered cards.
So we've talked about on previous episodes, there's a different type of license. There's different things that the card companies can do. Teamcoach has a major gaming and online aspect to it, which, by the way, guys, we have been advised that their games, because the cards aren't out yet, they're not officially out to the 20th of March. We'll get them in hobby stores and the AFL store as well.
Yep.
We'll have them on the 20th of March. Other shops will have them a little bit later than that, I believe. But their online gaming component, which, again, this is part of the thing that really separates Teamcoach and Select and the nature of the different types of cards. Their online gaming is open now, and you do not need codes. You'll be able to
say
the first 2 rounds are free and open to everyone, and you can jump in now and check that out on the Teamcoach website.
Prize cards will be available to be won.
Exactly. And for those who don't know, obviously prize cards, I think they're numbered 50 or lower in terms of the print volume.
Once they're gone, they're gone. Yep.
Exactly. Always very hard to get. It's really hard not knowing the numbering because there's no serial numbers. It's hard. I'm certainly thankful here because we do have some of the numbering. And let me tell you, like, some of these cards are seriously limited in print. Neon Star Powers, which are back again this year, which is the short print variation.
Tyson Beck designed.
The Tyson Beck designed. Obviously, Tyson Beck in the community, many people know him. Only 74 of each of those produced. So if they did have a foil printed number on the back, it would be /74.
Yep.
So very short print there. The Gold Trophy Wild Card, again, very short print. 1 in 4,320 packets,
so
which
1 in 10 cases.
That's 10 cases. So 1 in 10 case hit. I think there's 10 variations there, and they are numbered to 80 only. Only 80 of those. So, again, that is a super, super rare card. But even one that really intrigues me because, look, I do collect all licensed brands of cards for my team, and that's included Teamcoach year on year. Last year, there was certainly a lot more cards to collect, and one of the harder cards to get, and I'm now seeing exactly why, was the Gold Wild Cards. And they are numbered only to 92 of each one produced as well. So serious short print stuff here. Collectors who like Teamcoach already will certainly, I'm sure, be all across this right now. I feel like the Scanlens thing is really attractive and something that is going to generate a lot of interest for collectors who don't necessarily already collect Teamcoach.
Yep.
I think it's one of those sets that can be almost standalone as well. And there are people, even more vintage style collectors, who will go after that entire set.
Yep.
So that will be really interesting and obviously quite rare, but it's a 1 in 2 cases, 1 in 864 packets. Big win on that front.
So Ashley Beard just said, I'm curious how come Teamcoach can't number their cards and will they ever get to? The reason is due to licensing. So as we just talked about, there is some difference between a game card and a collectible card. Obviously, Teamcoach are heavily focused on the gaming side through their online portals, things like that.
Yeah.
Whereas Select have numbered cards with serial numbers.
And signatures is the other big thing. Exactly right.
So it's a licensing thing, which is obviously all out of our wheelhouse.
Yeah, and look, and credit to both companies as well as for being able to navigate that space.
Absolutely.
It's a very complex space, and companies want to be able to be innovative on an ongoing basis, and they both have to navigate around each other. So kudos to both of them.
Yep.
I mean, again, whether that's on the collectability side or the gaming or prize nature of different things, I think both companies have done really well.
As we've always said,
and they're staying in their lanes correctly.
But there's a synergy between them both.
Yeah, looking after collectors and consumers at that. Like, we need to be mindful of Teamcoach. You know, for those who have kids, obviously you would know about Teamcoach from your kids. It's a really important seeding product, and the gaming aspect and the various attributes they have with certain sets and types of cards
brings kids in.
It brings kids in. Those kids also then come into the ecosystem of collecting, as we were all kids that probably collected footy cards and basketball cards once upon a time.
Yep.
We then get to a different age in our life and a different point where we want to collect something else, and naturally we'll move across to cards that have signatures and serial numbers. But don't discount the importance of these cards in the overall history and ecosystem of trading cards.
Well, speaking of kids, while I was there, Jenks, I did pick up a couple of folders for Dylan and Elliot.
I don't know how you managed to keep this.
So they will be the first 2 kids that will be able to receive one of the new albums, 28 pages albums, cardboard albums, and they've got one of the Game Changer cards in both of them. So they're obviously for the kids. Your kids are obviously a little bit older than mine, but they will enjoy that.
We'll give that to the boys. So as you said, so what is it? A Game Changer card. Imagine AJ's missing out. It could be a Dusty. What we will do, though, guys, is I'm going to give those, bribe my kids with them.
Yep.
I think tomorrow morning.
They can have them tomorrow morning.
Before school, and we'll see if we can get a couple of photos up and previews of those as well.
So big thanks, obviously, to the guys at Teamcoach, the whole team there. I reached out to them today, and they were obviously very happy to provide us with some information. But look, it's really exciting to... Hey, just leave it alone, all right? I've already said you can have it, all right? Just put it down. Obviously, it's a really exciting time in this year for cards, not only obviously, as we've talked about with Footy Stars, hitting a home run effectively with Footy Stars or
Absolutely.
Select Footy Stars. But Teamcoach now as well is providing another great product too, which is setting the year up for a great foundation for card collecting.
What a start on all fronts. Yep. And again, we have this ongoing discussion where, and it's at all levels in all different things, interest rates, all these different things hitting.
Yep.
I just feel like AFL cards, and very specifically AFL cards in general, but more so AFL cards, is just such a strong space at the moment. And again, whether that's at a community level or a participation or just an engagement level, conversational level, everything is just so strong. And I feel like if this is the first 3 months of the year, imagine what we've got to look forward to for the rest of the year as well. And
absolutely. Yeah. And we, Select obviously have some things up their sleeve which are super exciting. And I know even though you own the company, you won't tell me anything.
Yeah.
But who knows what's coming around the corner? We know Prestige is not coming. So what is going to be on the agenda?
Yeah, it's a really interesting one.
And look, well done to both the companies that both in their own lane have done some really good things to start the year.
Yeah. So just as well, for anyone who is unaware, Select Footy Stars out now. Very limited amounts of hobby products still available.
Yep.
Retail boxes can be found in all good hobby stores, AFL stores, Kmart, obviously, service stations, newsagents, Australia Post, I think, as well.
Starter packs.
All the usual outlets. Don't bother going looking for Teamcoach tomorrow. You're not going to find it yet.
It's not out.
Per the information we have, it is available from the 20th of March. Monday, the 20th of March. All good hobby stores and most likely the AFL store.
Yep.
And then later next week will be available at the mass merchants.
And obviously Butters has already put some stuff up on social media. So if you want to catch some of the dot points, if you don't obviously want to rewatch the show or listen, but hey, you can go check out our socials now. It's got all the details, not only about the instant win prizes, but also Teamcoach. It's been a long week, Jenks.
It's been a very, very long week. It's all just a bit of a blur at this stage.
It is a blur. So thank you, everyone. Probably a good point to wrap it up now. But thank you, everyone, for your interaction over the show tonight. Obviously, lots of exciting things. It's been a really good week.
Yeah.
It's been a really positive and strong week. Select have done a fantastic job kicking it off. They've absolutely nailed it with these instant win prizes. I think everyone was secretly hoping that it was going to be something big. And the fact that they have gone monstrous.
Huge. You couldn't ask for more. As a collector, as a consumer, like no matter who you are and what type of person that's buying the $3 packets or the $8 hobby packets, you pick up one of those instant win cards and wow, it's an amazing hit in its own right.
Yep.
Whether it's a box or a full set of cards that you're getting, it's pretty unbelievable.
Absolutely. Robert Jacks just asked if Teamcoach announced how much a box. $3.50 a packet.
Yeah, so $3.50
price
a packet.
increase this year.
Slight price increase. Boxes will be slightly more expensive, but works out to be $3.50 a packet.
Yep, that's right. All right. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Jenks. Fantastic,
thank you.
as always. Thank you all you guys. Sorry, there's obviously lots of questions that we tried to get to as many as we could.
Make sure a lot of info to get through tonight. So
absolutely. So look, obviously make sure you keep in tune with our socials. If you want to replay not only this show but any other shows, check us out at cardauthority.com.au, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, all those sorts of things. But as always, release time is a stressful time and a happy time for everyone. Yeah. So make sure you get around all your groups, all your breakers, all your hobby stores, trade, sell, buy, get amongst it. It's a really fun time to be in the hobby. But as always, take care and be kind to each other.
We'll see you soon, guys.
Ciao.